Hey guys, welcome back to a new session from Edureka. My name is Vajiha, and in this session we'll be learning something very interesting, which is web development using Python. So before we begin, just make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to stay updated with all the latest Edureka videos. Coming back towards this session, let's take a quick look at all that's in store over here for you guys. To begin with, we shall first cover some basics about Python, and then we shall look at why Python is used for web development. Following this, we shall take a look at some of the important web development libraries or frameworks of Python. In today's session, I'll be using the Django framework to develop a sample website. So let's just look at what the attractive combination of Python and Django offers us. After that, we shall move on straight away to install Django, and finally, I'll be showing y'all how to create a sample website from scratch. So I hope everyone's clear with this. So now let's move on towards the first topic of this session to brush up a few basics about Python. Guys, Python is an interpreted high-level language which can be treated in an object-oriented, sequential, or a procedural manner. It also provides high-level built-in data structures which are merged with dynamic typing and dynamic binding semantics that make it very attractive for application development. Web development is nothing but the task of developing websites that can be hosted by the internet. It varies from simple page to complex websites. For example, google.com, gmail.com, Facebook, etc. Now that we've covered the basics of Python, let's move on and see why Python is used for web development. Guys, Python allows you to build web applications dynamically. It's a very stable language. It also grants you ease to build multi-protocol network applications. The fact of Python being flexible, easy to use, and its quick processing are just a few reasons to mention for its worth in web development. Now that I've explained about the features of Python, let's take a walk through some of the libraries that Python provides for web development. Guys, Python provides a number of libraries for web development. Some of the important ones are CherryPy, Django, Web2Py, Pyramid, TurboGears, and Flask. Among these, in today's session, I'll be using the Django framework. So now y'all might be wondering why Django and why not any other library. Django is truly the best Python library for web development. It's written purely in Python and it's fast. You can create websites within a matter of few hours. It's fully loaded with all the required tools to create websites, and it's very secure. Be it YouTube, your Dropbox, Google, or Instagram. All these internet giants rely on Django. So with this, I think I've given you enough for why I've chosen Django over the other libraries. Okay, so guys, now let's move on to see how to install Django. Before installing Django, you will have to install Python on your PCs. To do that, you can go to the official Python website and download it from there. I'll be showing you guys shortly how to do the same. After downloading Python, you'll have to finish its installation and setup process. Following that, I'll be showing you all how to set the Python home variable. This is done to make your IDE look for Python as to where it's installed on your PC. After that, you'll have to download PyCharm and install the same on your PC. Finally, you'll have to open the PyCharm terminal and use the command pip install Django. Okay, so now let me go on towards the browser and show you all how to download Python. As you can see on the screen, this is the official Python website from where you can download Python. If you're using a Windows platform, you can download Python using this option over here. Or if you're using Mac, Linux, or any other operating system, you can use the corresponding options. Once the download is completed, you will have to finish with the setup. Since I've already installed it over here, it does not give me an install option. It just gives me an option to modify, repair, or uninstall this. Okay, so after installing this on your PC, go to the Advanced System Settings. Choose the option of Environment Variables, and over here choose the new option and give the name as Python_home. For the value of this variable, you'll have to copy the path of where Python has been installed on your PC. To find where Python has been installed on your PC, just search for Python and right-click on the same and use Open File Location. As you can see over here, it shows me where I've installed Python. Now I'll copy this location and I'm going to paste it as the value of this variable and use OK. After doing that, look for the path variable present in the system variables and select Edit. Go to the variable value and towards the end of the value, if you do not find a semicolon, insert a semicolon and after that type Python underscore home between two percentage symbols, just like how I've done it over here. Okay, so after that just give OK and close the settings. Once this is done, your Python location will be visible to your IDE. To download PyCharm, go to the JetBrains website and download any version of your choice. Guys, the community version is free, so you can download this with ease. Okay, so I hope you're clear with how to download and install these two. After downloading PyCharm, you'll have to finish the installation and the setup process. Since it's already downloaded on my PC, I'll jump on to my PyCharm and show y'all how to install. Okay, so guys, once you're done with the installation and setup of PyCharm, just open up your PyCharm and you should see the following screen. Since you've newly installed PyCharm, you will not see any projects that are present over here. So to create a new project, go to File, choose the New Project option, and over here, specify any new project name that you want. I'll just give the name as Web Project, and I'll use Create. So I hope everyone's clear with how to install Python and PyCharm. If you guys have any doubts, please do let me know in the chat box, and my team is here to help you. So guys, please make sure you've subscribed to our channel to find more interesting videos from Edureka. So as you can see over here, Web Project has been created within the current directory. So after this, I'll just open up the terminal. And over here, I'll use the command pip install Django. It's going to take a while to install Django, guys. So when you're installing Django, along with Django, the SQL parse database and the pytz module also gets installed. SQL parse is actually a non-validating SQL parser for Python. It provides support for parsing, splitting, and formatting SQL statements. Now this is actually compatible with the versions of Python from 2.7. The pytz module is actually a third-party module that brings the Olsen TZ database into Python. TZ actually stands for time zone, guys. This library allows accurate and cross-platform time zone calculations using Python 2.4 or higher. It also solves the issue of ambiguous times. Okay, so once Django has been installed, it will throw a message saying successfully installed Django with its version and the version of the pytz module and the SQL parse. Now to cross-check the installation of Django, go to your command prompt and use the command python -m Django -- version. Now when you use this command, it should return the version of Django that's been installed. So I hope everyone's getting the same. Okay, so now let's close this. I hope everyone's clear with this. For any doubts, guys, please do let me know in the chat box because my team is always here to help you. So now to create a Django project, within this project, I'll use the command Django -admin, start project, and I'll give a name to my project. Let me give the name as demo project. Okay, so now a demo project has been created within the web project directory. Let me open this directory, and here it shows the web project that's been created. Let me just go to the presentation mode and show you all. I'll go to view and I'll select the files that I want and the terminal. As you can see over here, within the demo project directory, there's another directory with the same name as my project, and there is a file created by Django called as the manage.py file. The manage.py file is actually a command line utility that lets you interact with the Django project. Don't worry guys, we'll be using this many a times, so you'll get familiar with this. Now let me just open this directory and see what's present within it. The first file that's created within this directory is the init.py. Now the init.py is actually an empty directory which is considered to be a package. After that, there is something called as the settings.py. This actually consists of all the settings that are necessary for the current project. After that, it's urls.py. urls.py consists of all the URL declarations for this project. And finally, the wsgi.py file, where WSGI stands for Web Server Gateway Interface. Now this is actually a calling convention, guys, for web servers to forward requests to web applications or other servers. So I hope everyone's clear until here. If you have any doubts, do let me know in the chat box. Okay, so now to check if I'm able to connect from my project to the web server, I'll just get into my project using the cd command. And after this, I'll use python manage.py run server. Like I told you, the manage.py file will help me connect to the server. So this will return an IP address. So when you click on that address, you will see a screen with a rocket which is ready to take off. So congratulations guys, your rocket is ready to move on, which means you're all set to create your own websites. So I know that after this, everyone would be excited to create their own websites. To do so, I'll just get back to my PyCharm and show you guys what exactly you must do to create your own websites. Okay, so to create my website, all I'm going to do is create an app within my demo project. I'll just return the control to my terminal using Ctrl+C. And over here, I'll create a new app within my project. Please make a note, guys, that one project can have n number of apps, which means you can include any number of apps within your project. To create an app, I'll use the same command, which is python manage.py, and instead of run server, I'll use the start app command and I'll give a name to my app. Let me just give the name as demo app. So now an app has been created within my project. Let me just open this up to show y'all what's present within this demo app. So just like how Django had created files for us within our project, when we created a new app, Django has created the necessary files for us. So this is what Django does. It writes all the necessary code, and all you have to do is write your website specific codes and just modify the files that are present and add your own files as per your choice. The first file that I'm going to open over here is views.py. And as you can see over here, Django has already imported render for me. Now I want to use the HTTP response function. So I'll use from django.http import HTTP response. Please be careful with your spellings, guys. Now within this file, I'll create a new function using the def keyword, and I'll give the name of the function as hi. To this function, I'll pass one parameter, which is request. Within this function, I'll just write one return statement using the HTTP response function. I actually want this function to return a message saying that this is the homepage of my website. I'll just put it as a string and I'll use the h1 tag for this. This is my homepage. And I'll close the h1 tag /h1. So as you can see over here, PyCharm has highlighted this line because I'm using the HTTP response function. The first line of my code is not highlighted because I'm not using the render function anywhere. As of now, I'll not be using the render function. However, I'll be showing y'all how to use this later on. Okay, now I've created views for my project, but I will not be able to connect this file to the urls.py which is present in the demo app. To connect views.py to this urls.py, I'll have to create another urls.py within the demo app directory and connect that urls.py to the urls.py which is present in the demo project. Don't get confused, guys. I'll be doing it over here and the video will be available after this. In case you have any doubts, you can go through it again. So I'll just create a new file within this app. It's going to be a Python file. I'll give the name as urls.py and I'll say OK. This urls.py is actually very similar to the urls.py which is present in the demo project. So I'll open the urls.py present in the demo project directory, and I'll copy the from statement, which is from django.urls import path and the URL pattern list. I'll just copy this and I'll go to urls.py present in my app and I'll paste it over here. Now over here, since I want to map the views.py into this urls.py, what I'm going to do is use from dot, which means from the current directory, import views. And within the URLs pattern, I do not want this admin path, so I'll just remove this and I'll leave the name as blank because I want this to be mapped to my home page. And over here, I'll use views.hide, which is the name of my function. And I'll give a name to this path. You can give any name of your choice. Let me just give the name as homepage, home-page. Okay, so after this, what I have to do is map this urls.py to the urls.py which is present in the demo app. So I'll open the urls.py present in the demo app, and over here I'll create a new path and I'll give an empty string because I want it to be mapped to my homepage like I already told y'all. Sorry guys, I'll have to import the include function also. So from django.urls, I'll import the include function. And over here, I'm going to use the include function. I'll map the urls.py present in my demo app. And I'll close this. So after this, let me just go to my terminal and use python manage.py run server. I've just made a name mistake. This is demo app. Okay, so as you can see over here, it has returned the IP address again. I'll click on this IP address. Congratulations guys, instead of that rocket which we were seeing previously, which was the default page, my website is displaying whatever I want it to display. So this was the message I wanted to display on my home page, and it shows that this is my home page. So now I'll get back to my PyCharm and I'll see how I can modify this page to create a website. I'll return the control back to my terminal using Ctrl+C. So to write HTML code within this project, all you have to do is create a new directory within your app directory, and that will be the templates directory. Now these will be the templates that are specific to this project, and instead of looking elsewhere, Django will look into this directory for the necessary templates. Within the templates directory, I'll create a new directory with the same name as my app. Don't get confused with this guys. This is actually the Django convention which helps you write project specific code. So within this demo app, I want to write the HTML code. So I'll create a new HTML file to write all the HTML code that I want. I'll just give the name as hi.html and I'll say OK. So as you can see over here, Django has already written the minimum HTML code for me. I'll just change the title to Edureka guys. You can give any title of your choice. And within the body, I'll just write hi. And after this, I'll open the apps.py file. I'll copy the name of this class. And then go to settings.py present in my demo project. And over here, I'll look for installed apps. Remember that whenever you create new apps, you'll have to add it over here. Then within a string, give the name of the app, which is demo app. Please be very careful with the spellings because if you make any mistakes, it's going to throw a lot of errors and you'll not be able to understand why it's throwing such errors. And for beginners, it sometimes gets very confusing to debug these errors. So just be careful over there. So let me get back to this. Name of my app, which is demo app, dot apps, dot the name of the class that we've copied from there. I'll just paste it over here. And I'll specify a comma after this. Now from here, I'll go back to my views.py file. And instead of this HTTP response, I'll be using the render function. So I'll just remove this. I'll return render. And I'll specify the request function. And then within a string, I'll specify the HTML file which is present in the demo app. So demo app slash hi.html, which is the name of my file. Guys, please write the same name which you have given to your file. I'll run my server again after this. So python manage.py run server. Let's go back to our server and see what happens. So as you can see over here, guys, the title has changed from the default address to Edureka, and my homepage now shows a message saying hi. So I hope everyone's clear with everything until now. Now all I'm going to do is go back to my HTML file and do some modifications to create my own website. So now to create my own website, I'm just going to modify this HTML page. Guys, if you're done till here, you've been successful in creating a website. Now all you have to do after this is specify your project specific HTML code. Let me just show you a few basic things that you can do using HTML over here. So I hope everyone knows some basics of HTML. Let me just change the message from hi to welcome to Edureka. Okay, I'll just specify the second line of my page to be some h2 tag and a new message saying that this is my website. Let me save this and rerun my server. I'll just go back to my server and I'll reload the page. So as you can see over here, the h1 tag says welcome to Edureka and the second h2 tag says this is my website. So this is how you can write your own HTML code to your program, guys. So now let me create some list over here. To create a list, I can either specify it to be an ordered list or an unordered list. For ordered list, I'll have to use OL tag, and for unordered list, I'll have to use the UL tag. Over here, I'll be using the unordered list, and within this list, I'll specify the list elements. First element is Python, and the second element I'll give as Java or something. Okay, let me save this, go back to my server and reload this page. So as you can see over here, guys, it has created an unordered list over here. So now let me show you all how to create a table over here. So to create a table for your website, you can use the table tag and specify whatever style you want for your table. In my case, I'll just give the width to be 30% and I'll close this. So within the table, you can have the TR, the TH and the TD tags. The TR tag is actually for the table rows, TH is for table headings and TD is for the table columns. I'll just write a TR tag over here, and within this TR tag, I'll specify the TH tags. Let me just give the heading as Python, and I'll give another heading as Java. So after this, I'll create another row using the TR tag, and within this, I'll specify the columns. So for that, I'll use the TD tag, and I'll just specify which IDE you can use for Python and Java. So for Python, you can use PyCharm. Let me just copy this. And for Java, you can use Eclipse. So I'll change the name from PyCharm to Eclipse over here. And I'll save this. So as you can see over here, a table has been created. But guys, my table over here does not have any borders. To add borders to my table, I'll go back to my HTML page. And over here, within head, I'm going to use the style tag. And within this tag, I'll specify what border I want for my table. Let me save this and reload my page. So as you can see over here, guys, I included the style tag and specified what kind of border I want. So the same way on my server over here, a table has been created with a specified style. To know more about HTML and learn how to create beautiful websites, you can just go to the Bootstrap website. And from here, you can take any code that you want for your website. So I'll just show you what happens when you use this. So let me just use the style from the Bootstrap, and it should be present within the head. So I'll just paste it over here. Let me save this. I'll go back to my server and I'll reload this page. As you can see over here, guys, using the small bit of code that was present on the Bootstrap website, my website looks so much more better than what it was looking before this. You can use this Bootstrap website to create your own beautiful websites. Okay, so with this, we come towards the end of our project. So I hope you're clear with all that's been covered in this session. In case you have any queries or suggestions, please do let me know in the comment section and I will revert to you at the earliest. Goodbye and take care.
I hope you have enjoyed listening to this video. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries and we will reply them at the earliest. Do look out for more videos in our playlist and subscribe to Edureka channel to learn more. Happy learning!